Welcome to this special show of the coronavirus, a disease that has impacted the world. Today's guest is Sunil Joshi, who is a cellular immunologist, a graduate of the University of Miami School of Medicine. Sunil, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Sunil, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm actually a cellular immunologist and have a lot of experience working with the various pathogens, especially tuberculosis, malaria, influenza, and but recently I started working on bone marrow transplant in University of Miami, Department of Pediatrics.
And how has this virus impacted your world? Have you taken a look into it?
Yes, definitely. Um, I have a student back in India who is working on some of the uh, artificial intelligence and data analysis over these different genomic information, and we really find out a few drug targets as well as uh, some uh, some important information which is not available anywhere, and that then we actually uh, compiled a treatment regimen and to give it to the government of India, and then they are implicating that. So I'm constantly working since even it is started, constantly monitoring and how things are moving. And right now, precaution is the best thing because unfortunately there are most of the studies which is publishing are not accurate or somehow misleading, and that's a big problem.
How has the studies been changed these past couple of weeks? Have you learned some new things about the virus?
Yes, of course. So, if you remember, the first paper came in Nature February 3rd, which was defining the very first case of coronavirus in Wuhan, China. And that case was uh, uh, it it was that was one case it happened there, and then things going on. Since then, I think from I would say from beginning of this year until now, maybe 8,000 publication has been in the market, and they are so much different because virus genome is described by several people in different ways, and which is again is a very misleading because if it is the same clone of the virus, it shouldn't be changing paper-wise. Secondly, there is controversy about the different use of different drugs. Of course, we do not have any uh, experimental data on the drugs which are working, and in some cases it is working, some cases not. So that is also very confusing. However, in this crisis where we do not really know yet how virus really going to be uh, inhibited, we have to try the best possible combination. So logically, what we did use some software, and we started docking the different targets, and we found some very interesting thing that uh, vitamin C, zinc, and vitamin B3 and uh, mm, vitamin C and folic acid. They are all very inhibitory to the virus. It doesn't kill the virus, but actually people got so much of better after taking this, even as a prophylactic, and these are without any uh, side effect. However, we can't propose this as a treatment because we don't have a data. So this is where we are. And then regarding the variability in the day-to-day publications, there is a tremendous amount of confusion. So, and who collected, when collected, what are the disease state. there are a lot of answers there are a lot of questions more than answers.
Of course, you've been talking about some other remedies like vitamin C and vitamin D. What have
Right.
you heard about hydrochloroquine?
Yes. So hydrochloroquine or chloroquine is a very old drug, and we can is constantly being used into the tropical countries like India, where malaria is very prevalent. So here is the thing which I was surprised that of course some people are saying that it working and some people say it doesn't work, but there is no measurement whether it worked because of the drug or because the general natural immunity is working. We don't know. The but one thing I want to clarify here. Uh, some people said that it is actually having a positive effect because of the it inhibit the antigen presentation, and then some people said that it lower down the immune response. So how can it be beneficial? And also some people said that in publication that it is not effective, but at the same time a French group claiming that it is very effective. In our experience, again, without any uh, uh, bench or experimental evidence, we found it is effective. So here is the thing: the hydroxychloroquine, it this drug is work in very different way in different doses at different conditions. Let me give you example. If you are suffering from a malaria, and if you're suffering from a malaria which is not cerebral but only the non-cerebral malaria, then you have a course of the chloroquine around 4 to 5 days, and that's it, and you will be cured. During these 4 or 5 days of chloroquine treatment, it cannot suppress the immune system because that you need little bit more higher uh, what you call activity index of the drug to suppress that function. So in different doses, at different doses, there are different level of functions affected. And that is a big problem here. Some people might be getting a positive result because they might have some correct doses, or some people are giving the doses which is malaria doses, but it may not work. Uh, I have personal example. I have suffered from malaria as well as cerebral malaria. So when I was suffering from cerebral malaria, the they never gave me chloroquine by mouth by tablets. They gave me high dose of chloroquine through the saline, injecting just like chemotherapy, and that's how I survived. So it's different. It's just completely just chloroquine. It, one drug can work in multiple ways, in multiple doses, and multiple routes, and that is nobody talking about these things.
Yeah, there's been some random testing, and
Yeah,
there's for some people it has worked, for some people it hasn't, but it's definitely
right, right.
still being
There is
tested.
no uniformity in the use of that.
Yeah, which also they've mixed hydroxychloroquine um, with as the is azithromycin. I'm not sure how you say it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yes. I know. Yeah, yeah, correct. Yeah, that's an antiviral drug for the. They actually uh, discovered for the SARS in the 2013 epidemic, I think.
Many questions are asked. Do you think this virus, the coronavirus or the COVID-19, came from an animal, or do you think it
Oh,
came from a
that is a very
laboratory?
good question. So, in the initial story, and this is I'm talking about published work, because what we will be publishing soon some work which is very different what people are doing it, and it may create a controversy also. So the initial thing we heard that it is coming from the flying bat, where people in China, Wuhan area, where the sea market sells all kind of exotic animals, and well, people they use as a food. Well, then after that, we dig out some of the literature, and what we found it in I believe in 70 or 71, there was a paper, the original paper, which indicated that this virus came from the rat because there was a rat epidemic. Yeah.
S-
So so basically, rat was supposed to be the and you know the rat is very common animal. You like even if it is going around, it can spread. Yeah.
Something.
So
Yeah.
so that is one part of the story. Then second story is to change quickly that how it actually came and jump into the human being, and that was the mystery. The reason is the 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 bat actually has another intermediate host, and that is a duck. According to our studies, nobody has done published this yet. So what we found when we sequenced the genome, and in the genome we found certain portion of the genome which come from the proteins which is in the duck, and then it transmit to the human being because people in China eat ducks. So these are the different hosts we found it. Now question comes that how the infectivity of this virus is so high.
And why is that?
Because that infectivity is very complicated to understand unless until the laboratories dissect clearly what virus has beyond the virus. Means the report publishing here with the virus genome, people are not putting complete information in the where they're explaining about the genomic structure of the virus. So, because if you, I'm sure you may know that coronavirus is a common cold virus,
Yeah.
and it is known for multiple years, and it is there always, and we all suffer every year some or the other way.
Has there ever?
Then
Yeah. Go ahead.
uh, go ahead, please go ahead.
Has there ever been in the past where there's diseases from animals jump into humans?
No, not reported. So the study which was in the 70s, the rat, they actually studies only in the rat, and there was no such. Uh, but the related epidemic happens with the SARS and MERS, which came from camel like that, and one is came from bird, I think.
How soon do you think a vaccine can be created to put a stop to the coronavirus?
So in vaccine is also again there are two important factors. So for example, vaccine creating vaccine technically is not a big problem. Vaccine is, as you know, vaccine is nothing but the dead pathogen, and you are injecting into the humans, so human immune system can see that pathogen, and the next time when the live pathogen attack, they are prepared. That's all the basic fundamentals of the vaccine. However, if it is a case, then we are prepared. We are making vaccine for influenza from last more than 50 years. We still have not come up with a solid vaccine which can provide robust immunity for a long time. Similarly, we have a situation where the people get exposed to a disease. So when somebody get exposed to a disease, that is means, and then he recovered, he should be completely immune because the amount of antigen the person's immune systems encountered are pretty much very wide range. But still, that even doesn't work out. Now, question comes then, what is the problem with that? First of all, vaccine of the coronavirus, you can find maybe in another month or so, but whether it is really functional vaccine, that is a question. So that is doubtful, and I think it will take years to solve this problem because first of all, they should know which epitopes are actually the real epitope which can inhibit the virus. Now, if you look at the sequence wise and find and think that is those epitopes are going to be antigenic, it may not be. That's the same thing. There are cryptic epitopes. We call cryptic epitopes, and those are the need to be isolated on the basis of studies. So for me, a functional vaccine, very difficult to predict when it will come, but there will be a lot of market vaccine, is mostly commercial based, commercial interest vaccine will be available soon. Yeah.
10 years ago, the H1N1 virus happened.
Yeah.
Would you think coronavirus is more serious than that virus, or you think they're very similar?
Well, this is a little controversial question, and I have answer, but I cannot tell you about this. The reason is the influenza virus, H1N1, that was also very dangerous virus. And but also there are two ways to look into this. One, how many people died, and or how many people get affected. Second, who are these people? So basically, people with the viral infection, especially coronavirus or influenza virus, they're dying. They are either very old people, or they are very young, or they are immunocompromised with some other problem. Most of them. There are very few healthy people are dying. Very few. So, so here is again the clue is here. For working a vaccine, suppose there is a vaccine in the market tomorrow, and you want to work that vaccine as a complete cure for this particular disease, the person who is receiving this vaccine must have a optimal functioning immune response, immune system, and which is very difficult to achieve because, for example, old people have a low immune response. Some people are poor because of their socio-economic condition, their immune system is screwed up. And some people are suffering from some diseases like autoimmune disease or some kind of other diseases, immunosuppressive diseases. So then they screwed up. So that diversity is a big problem. And of course, designing a vaccine for a population is not that going to be. But even if it is say about 50% successful, it's a great idea because those 50% people can be responsible for the herd immunity. So that's the only hope I think right now.
H1N1, was also a very powerful virus. How about SARS? Was that very similar to H1N1 and coronavirus?
Yeah, they are all similar, but their infectivity has. So, for example, influenza virus has a couple of strains, and few strains we handle in the lab as a regularly BSL-2 facility. But H1N1, the most pathogenic virus, we handle into the BSL-3 facility. So these are the viruses are the same, but different strains has different uh, pathogenesis, pathology, how they affect. So the reason why they are so different, the entry of the virus is different in these strains. Some has a very high capacity to enter into the lung tissues and cause this infection. Now, MERS and SARS, they were not very common that time. So that is how they become. So something very very new, never been exposed, can cause the havoc because of the body is not prepared. Yeah.
Of course, right
It does
now,
have.
there's a lot of countries doing social separation. and there's
uh,
also another way of herd immunity.
immunity. Uh-huh.
What do you think about these two different ways to stop the virus?
Right now, actually, frankly speaking, it's all chaos right now. We really, we confused. We are confused. One thing is
Sunil?
how no
Oh, there you go.
come in contact. Hello, can
No.
you hear me?
Yes, yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So, if somebody is infected and each person is quarantined or not be able to communicate with us, certainly the virus transmission will be stopped. Uh, Social distancing has really effective because uh, these viruses does have a certain so body, because the reason is not that the person who is 6 feet from me not receiving those viruses, even suppose I am infected, they do, but the viral load is again an important aspect of your immune system. So we encounter tens of billions of the parasite every single time, every single day, those pathogens, bacteria. But we don't get sick because there is a certain threshold, there is a certain load of those pathogens which our body easily handles. But beyond the load, suppose load is too much, then it becomes dangerous. So I think social distancing is not eliminating the exposure completely, but it is definitely reducing the burden of the virus on the host.
Do you recommend wearing a mask or also wearing gloves?
Yes. The you mean the how they affect? You mean?
No, no. To if you're going to a grocery store or to a public
Hmm.
area, you
Right.
would wearing a mask make much of a difference?
It could, it may not. Because again, this is like a what do you say? Uh, it's we are walking in a totally dark area. So that does, because suppose you're touching some surfaces where somebody cough and somebody uh, did it and virus remain for few hours at least. So you're protected at least with the glove and mask. Mask also protect at least droplets doesn't go inside. So because again droplet will have maybe billions of the viruses, but I think in the open air it doesn't affect much. But for the precaution wise, yeah, it can be, but I don't think it is really like a guaranteeing that you won't get affected.
Something to definitely look at. This is a pandemic for
Yes.
everyone to remember in the past. So, Nell, what do you recommend everyone to do for the next couple of weeks?
Okay, so the best thing I'm advising right from the beginning, first of all, uh, and that is something I was surprised why medical community is not advising, uh, because this is starting as a lung infection and everybody talking about lung only, like pulmonary, and that is okay because that is the first entry point and where this virus create a lot of trouble. But actually, people are also dying with the kidney failure. And the kidney failure is because there are certain receptors we found in our study also expressed in the kidney and the virus affecting them. So best thing to do right now, uh, the increase amount of your drinking water habits. So drink maximum amount of water. Number one. Number two, you can like in water means like you can have like mostly not dry food like soup and lot of liquid diet, lot of things, whatever liquid you can do because then you can flush virus faster. Uh, Second thing, uh, which is more important, is to do some deep breathing exercises because again, when virus causes inflammation, your oxygen intake become less, and that leads to you a completely failure of the organ. When oxygen become 80% or less, then your organs doesn't work. So these two things, plus then you can use the home remedies. These are home remedies are which is not harmful. For example, drinking a lot of ginger tea, black pepper, and using turmeric powder in your food. These all are anti-inflammatory uh, substances which will be helping you without any doubt. And of course, best thing is that to fight virus is a rest. Rest means uh, minimal physical work because that will restore your energy to fight virus. So these are I can recommend because of these. There is nothing wrong in that. Nothing uh, can go bad, and these are not drugs as such. But these are the precaution. And water is most important thing, which is like if you're drinking a 3 glass of water a day, just increase to the 6 glass of water a day. That's my point.
Those are Sunil's suggestions. It says drink a lot
Yes,
of liquids, especially water.
yes,
Do breathing
yes.
exercises, and
Right,
also do home remedies like drinking ginger
right,
tea, black pepper, anti-inflammatory
right. Yeah,
remedies, and get a lot of rest.
right. Actually, the yes, it is logically because when you have some black pepper or ginger, they increase the blood circulation in the area of your throat. Okay.
Will do you think when we reach the summer months, especially here in the northern hemisphere, do you think we'll see a huge decrease of people getting the virus?
Um, I can't answer that question because it's very difficult for me to understand because um, here is one of the factor which we didn't discuss. That is, people saying that why some countries do not have that much infection as United States has.
Something to definitely look at, and of course, we'll be following coronavirus throughout the next couple of weeks and
Yes.
months. Sunil, what is the best way to reach you online?
Okay. Online, you can reach with my LinkedIn profile or by email.
And what is your email?
Sunil.joshi at med dot miami dot edu.
And there you have it, Sunil Joshi from the University of Miami Medical School. His contact information is sunil.joshi at med.miami.edu. Pretty exciting times. Well, not exciting times. Interesting times. Interesting
Yes.
times.
But
Uh,
this we of course in this crisis, this is a big lesson too, especially in American health system. Okay, this is a big lesson. We if we don't learn from this, then we are doomed.
yeah. A lot of we're learning a lot. In the health system, also in the business world. People are learning new ways, new things to get like the everyday life is different.
Different, yes, correct.
Thinking of new patterns. Will restaurants have now more tables separated?
Right, right,
Those a lot of those
right,
question marks. Can things be done more online? I've had a few people that are getting things processed through the city, but
right,
online. So we're definitely having a reset, but also learning new ways to adapt to this new world for the next couple of months. Hopefully, not too long to get this get like the everyday life going. You can reach us at sleonproductions.com, SLEON productions.com, or you can reach me at Leon for any
right.
updates in technology. And for Sunil Joshi, you could search for him on LinkedIn, or you can email him at sunil.joshi at med.miami.edu if you
Yes,
have any
correct.
questions about this. He is from the University of Miami. He is a cellular immunologist and
Yes,
very smart guy. Knows what's happening, and this is quite exciting times. I'm learning about more about viruses, flus, and it makes me want to be a virus researcher now.
yeah. No, actually, just yesterday I published one paper accepted on this phylogenetic genomic analysis of this virus.
And how can they find that?
Well, right now, not in the. It is in the like a publication stage. So I think within a week or so, it will be online in PubMed. Uh, so
Yeah, if you get that up, I'll love to retweet it and post it on my Facebook. So that'd be
yes,
awesome.
yes,
Well,
yes, of course.
Sunil, I really pleasure for taking your time to come on to this special, and I appreciate your information about this. And I mean, I've learned a lot. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm honored. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.